September 10th, 2025. Trump vows to deploy forces into Chicago and Baltimore, expanding his show of force in D.C. The Epstein survivors threatened to release their own list if the government doesn't actually do something, and everybody thought Trump kicked it over Labor Day weekend. Is he sick? Nah, he just looks like that. I don't get paid enough for this. Play the thing. Hello everybody, I'm your host Blondie, welcome to Countercult. Let's kick this off. So Trump is planning to deploy even more forces into Chicago and Baltimore to help curb the crime in those cities, similar to how he's expanded forces in DC. I think we have a clip of that press briefing by Trump. Let's take a look.
All remaining systems will bow to the first order!
I don't know about you guys, but I feel safer already. Because that's why he's doing this, to keep us safe from crime. We all know how much President Trump cares about the law.
Former President Donald Trump pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records on April 4th.
Right, because when the law is against him, it's fake news and we should ignore it. But when he has his finger on the button, all of a sudden now it's gospel and we should all just shut the f*** up and blindly trust one of the most notoriously dishonest men of the 21st century. It makes a lot of sense if you don't think about it. But at least he's doing this to keep us safe. It looks like he finally found the concern for the people he's been put in charge to govern, right?
How about no?
Ben Franklin, yeah, once said those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Now, Franklin didn't mean this at face value. The context of that quote is a pro-tax and pro-defense position on the French and Indian War. However, does that really matter now? No, not really. Regardless of what he meant then, the context of the face value point of the quote now is what matters. Because shaving the edges off freedom in exchange for more safety is not freedom. Because freedom has criminals. Because you can choose to be a criminal or a saint or a middler. Because that's what liberty is. It's the right to make your own decisions, including bad ones.
Hey,
You do whatever you like.
we can't condone anything of the sort.
No, we can't live! Live!
Nobody wants crime. I get it. It's scary to the average person, and we should take it seriously. But we should take it seriously with pragmatism and dispassion, not vengeance. When you suppress the many to punish the few, you disallow freedom. Because the only way to stop all criminals is to treat all like criminals. It also disallows the examination of criminals in the first place, most of whom are victims of circumstance, not violent psychopaths. I am an ex-convict. I've been inside. I know who's in there. I know what the stats say, but that's a different episode.
What y'all did?
We went on a
Violent killing spree all around the country. We've been killing people.
Make no mistake, this is not about crime. Trump is using crime as a flimsy excuse to push forces into political centers that he disagrees with, which is not freedom. It's totalitarian foreplay. And to the people that are okay with suppression, if it reduces petty crimes slightly, also full-grown adults never have to confront reality, okay, fine. Go to Turkmenistan or North Korea and let me know how it worked out for them. Moving on. The government released 33,000 new files related to the Epstein case, most of which was already public record. They effectively threw junk mail at us and told us to shut the f*** up.
Jesus loves you. Why doesn't the government?
But the thing is, we may have some options now. Several Epstein survivors have come together and declared that they may be working on their own list.
Us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names.
You know, the list of clients they actually remember being abused by? Ooh, I bet Bill's nervous. Assuming his nerves still work, Jesus. Bravo, ladies. Just make sure you release it when the Democrats and Republicans are all molting under their heat lamps. David Attenborough tells me they can't move at such times.
In the jungles of Central America, there's a world still inhabited by prehistoric-looking reptiles.
Lizard people. Now, do I think this is actually gonna go anywhere? I have no idea. I can't really say in one direction or the other, but there is one thing that I do know. The fact that we have a whole administration full of men and the only ones with balls are the women we were supposed to be helping is kind of pathetic. So rock on, ladies. Thanks for having the spine that our representatives clearly don't. Next in the headlines. Everybody thought Trump kicked the bucket over Labor Day weekend, with hashtags like Trump is dead and where is Trump spreading across X, TikTok, and other platforms, accumulating 2 million likes overall, and generating almost as much concern as what people are feeling for Nutter Butter's TikTok account.
Here's the Nutter Butter Peanut Butter Sandwich Cookie.
If you haven't heard about this, I suggest you look into it. It has nothing to do with the news, but it is glorious.
What has...
How does this sell cookies? People with a budget and some semblance of responsibility to investors looked at that PCP hallucination and actually said, yes, this is just what we need. Nightmares is what has been missing from peanut butter cookies.
Peanut shaped and crunchy too.
Anyway, everybody thought Trump was dead. It generated 2 million likes, and considering that most people online are passive watchers and only a small percentage actually engage, it stands to reason the number of people that like that is probably much, much higher. Which is something I'm not going to condone, partially because it sets a bad precedent, and partially because it ignores something. You're really going to sit here and tell me that Trump is the only one responsible for this? That's funny. Y'all do realize that without us, he'd still largely be remembered as a loudmouth TV show host, right? Because it isn't his fuck up, it's ours. We are the ones that didn't listen and gave him what he has now.
We didn't listen!
We didn't listen! And I'm not drawing a blame line, because if you hate what's going on and you didn't vote, which is very possible, a lot of people didn't, then you aren't blameless either. Just like his supporters aren't, and just like I'm not. I didn't fucking vote. I live in a red state. I didn't think it was gonna matter anyway, so I said to hell with it. It's probably the same thing a lot of other people thought. Which is wrong. Just be honest, because that's what'll fix this. And that's the problem, isn't it? The only way to get anything done is to at least try to be accurate, honest, and accountable. And nobody wants to do that anymore. Because it isn't about what's real. It's about whose team is winning. Which is exactly how we wound up here in the first place. If you think you're blameless, you're not. We're all complicit.
As I was saying, the universe is just doomed.
But we're not beyond fixing it. It's just gonna take work. And maybe for the first time in the past 2.5 decades, actually being honest with each other. Cutting out all the political cheerleading and taking accountability. None of us are above it. Don't be stupid.
Why don't you wise up to Jake's bullshit? Stop being such a dumbass.
Well said, Molly Ringwald. That's it for us, folks. Subscribe for more. You've been beautiful. I've been Blondie. And I'll see you next time. Get out of here. Go on. Get.